Hey, what's up, everybody? Jay with another video for you. Today I want to review a movie or give my thoughts on the movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I really enjoy this movie a lot, and I watched it for the first time in a while earlier today, and that's kind of why it took me a long time to finally do this video. But the movie I'm going to talk about is Once Upon a Time in the West. It's my favorite Western movie of all time. I mean, when I first saw this movie, I've seen a lot of westerns because for anybody who's seen my videos or even who I've talked with on here know that I like a lot of westerns. And I've always heard about Once Upon a Time in the West and everything, but when I first saw it, I think it was 2 years ago for the first time. I've always seen like a scene here and there and everything like that. But when I first saw this movie, I mean, that movie kind of changed how I looked at westerns because I think everybody has a movie from different genres that you've seen a lot of movies in a certain genre, but then there's always one that come along and says, "Wow, what is this?" It gives you a whole new outlook at that genre. And once Upon a Time in the West is that movie for me that really shook up things for me when it comes to westerns. It was directed by Sergio Leone, and it stars Italian actress Claudia Cardinale. Also stars excuse me. It stars Charles Bronson as harmonica. It stars Jason Robards as Cheyenne, and stars one of the one of my favorite actors to watch in movies, and I've always been a fan of his, and that is Henry Fonda as Frank in his one and only turn as a villain in a movie. The man has been in countless movies, but this was the only movie that he played in where he played a villain, and he is very good at it. And I believe he should have been at least nominated for an Academy Award for it, but he wasn't. I mean, I don't know how they come about as far as the whole who deserves a nomination and whatnot. I don't know exactly what goes into it, the criteria or anything about it, but I do highly just he's one of those people I feel that should have been nominated for Academy Award but wasn't for a certain movie. In this movie, I think he should have been at least nominated for. But anyway, the plot of the movie. First off, this movie has one of the greatest opening scenes in movie history, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people will agree with it, even if they haven't seen the movie. I know a lot of people have seen the opening scene to this movie, probably if not on YouTube, but they've probably seen it somewhere else. Movie opens with three gunmen at a train station, and they sit and wait. One thing about that opening sequence is that there is little to no dialogue in this scene. Now, Sergio Leone did. He came up with the idea. He actually took the idea of the whole three gunmen at a train station idea. I think it was from High Noon, where three guys are waiting for a guy, but they was waiting for I think their leader or whatever in High Noon. It's been a while since I seen that one, so I can't really remember. But I think they was waiting for their leader. But in this, they're waiting for someone. It's not necessarily well, actually, you don't really know who it is at first they're waiting for. It could be, a friend of theirs or it could be somebody else. But just to see these guys sitting there waiting and how it's played out, there's no music played. The only sound is from a squeaking windmill and from a leaky water tower. And well, the three guys that are in this opening scene is Jack Elam, who's probably people probably seen in movies before. I mean, if anyone who's seen like we're trying to think. The comedy movies, comedy westerns with James Garner, the Support Your Local Sheriff, and Support Your Local Gunman. He was in those. He's been in a lot of other movies as well. I mean, he has one of those faces that you'll know when you see him, might not know him by name. Also, a great character actor, black actor. Woody Strode is also one of the guys. Actually, he's the first face that you actually see in the movie, which I actually liked about that because at that time you kind of didn't have a lot of black actors who got a lot of you know grand entrances into a movie or whatever. But he has one of the greatest entrances to a movie, in my opinion, with how the camera pans up and there he is standing there with that look on his face. But anyway, those two, and then also another actor, I think it's Morlock. I think that's how it's pronounced, Morlock or Murdoch. Not sure, but anyway, these are the three guys who are waiting for at the train station. Don't want to say who they're waiting for just yet, but they're waiting for someone at the train station, and you get to kind of just sit with these guys for a minute. I mean, even though in the movie it's considered like a couple of minutes, but in actual time, it's I think like an hour or so has gone by. But anyway, like I said, it's just one of the great opening scenes, and I'm kind of going on too long about the opening scene. So let's just get to the plot. So when the train pulls up to the station, you guys there sitting there, they think the person that they're waiting for is not there. Come to find out, right when they're getting ready to leave, you hear this harmonica play. You will hear this harmonica play throughout the whole movie. Actually, it's one of the main themes of the movie. And when the train passes by, it's like a revealing curtain as the train passes by. Charles Bronson is standing there, and that's when the movie kicks off. There's a great shootout sequence between these guys in this movie. And like I said, I don't want to say too much about it. So I'm just gonna leave that scene alone. If you guys want to check it out, I also might leave that in a link down below if you want to check that out. But the plot of the movie is basically about Charles Bronson harmonica. That's his name throughout the movie. He basically takes on the man with no name character in this movie, and he is on a revenge type vendetta towards Frank. Played great. I mean, like I said, you cannot say how great Henry Fonda is in this movie playing this guy Frank. He is he's downright menacing. He wants to control everything. He's very devious, but he's very smart at what he does. Nothing he do in this movie is, you know, he doesn't do anything that's, overboard or anything like that. Everything there's a method to his madness. Oh, excuse me. You don't know exactly why he is the way he is. You never get that, but you rarely get that kind of background of certain characters in Sergio Leone's movies. But he's one of those characters. You kind of wonder, like, how did he become this way? Why did he become this way? But he's just an evil, evil guy, and Henry Fonda, who was known for playing the goodest of the goodest guys in movies, makes this fantastic turn of making you hate him from his opening scene in the movie, which is another good scene where he basically kills a family and also kills a little boy. And I think like I say, it's one thing to kill a family or whatever when they're grown people and teenagers, but to menacingly kill a child just because your name is spoken in front of this boy's presence, because he won't be able to recognize who he is. But the fact that he kills him just because his name is said in this child's presence, that's the reason why he kills him. There's no other reason why he kills him. That's the reason why. But anyway, so there's actually like a few different storylines going on in this movie, and they all slowly come together. That's one thing I really liked about this movie. I think this is one of the first movies I saw too that has those kind of elements where movies come, there's different story arcs that come together and all unravel toward the end. But let's see. Yeah, so there's the whole vendetta between Charles Bronson and Henry Fonda, which you don't find out the reasoning behind that until the end and everything like that. Jason Robards as Cheyenne turns in a good performance as well. He plays Cheyenne like he's the bandit of the group. I mean, you could say he's like a milder version of Tuco from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for anyone who's seen that film. And he the way he plays the movie, because he kind of has a relationship with Charles. The relationship that he has with Charles Bronson is interesting. The relationship that he has with Claudia Cardinale's character is interesting too. Even though she has a, let me just talk about her for a second. She has a relationship with each one of these men, and they're all different. The relationship that she has with Frank is a hate hate relationship, but and it's kind of weird. I don't really go into that too much. Like I said, you just have to see the movie to understand that part of their relationship, anything. And then the relationship that she has with Jason Robards is almost like I would say like almost like a brother sister relationship. And that's kind of what I picked. I might have to watch it a few more times to really understand their relationship or whatever, because the things that him and her talk about is kind of interesting and everything. But then the relationship that she wants to have with Charles Bronson, is interesting because you can tell that she is interested in this man and everything, but he is not so much interested in her. I don't know what's the deal behind that. There are some kind of mythical elements about Charles Bronson's character in the movie because he appears out of nowhere in a lot of scenes, kind of the same way Jason Robards' character kind of blunders through doors and everything. Like you have to watch the movie to understand it because I'm talking about the movie in a way that only people who have probably seen the movie have will understand because I have really watched this movie to the T. I've watched it a number of times with the commentary on. I've really watched the featurette. I mean, I really love this movie and I pay attention to every single scene in this movie because it's one of those movies because it's an epic melodrama that just takes you to a different place when you watching the movie. It's not just because it's a western. I know a lot of people don't really like westerns and everything like that, but it's one of those movies that even though it's a western, it's just a very good movie, and that's why I like it. I mean, it's my second best movie, right behind The Thing. For anyone who's seen my top five video, if you haven't, check that out. Take a look at what my top five, well, my current top five. But The Thing and Once Upon a Time in the West will always remain one and two unless some other movie comes along at some point and show me something different. I mean, Inception might have that, but it hasn't been out long enough for it to take that jump that high up in my list just yet because it's so new. But that's one movie that could end up in my top five, a permanent spot in my top five. But anyway, back to this movie. I mean, some of the scenes, the sequences that Sergio Leone do in this movie is just great by the way he moved the camera and the scenery is real good. And I highly suggest this movie for anybody who's a movie fan, not just a horror fan. I know I've been talking about a lot of horror movies lately, but I just want to try to come out with something different and talk about a different movie or whatever, a different genre. And I highly recommend Once Upon a Time in the West for anybody to check it out, give it at least one watch. It is a little long and everything like that. I mean, it clocks in at a little over 3 hours, I think it is. But it's one of those movies that the payoff in the end of this movie is very good. And I know I'm talking about it because I'm a big fan of the movie. But even if you're not a fan of westerns and everything, just like I say, just give it at least one watch. Let me know what you think about it because I really like talking about this movie. As you guys probably can see, how this video is kind of going a little long, and I'm trying not to go over the time because I really don't want to cut anything out. I want to leave everything in there. I've talked about this movie. If you guys have any comments about it, or you just want to, talk about it, anything like that, don't hesitate to leave comments down below. And like I said, that's pretty much it that I want to talk right now. And that's my thoughts on Once Upon a Time in the West. Like I say, rent it, buy it, download it, stream it, do whatever, but at least check it out, give it a watch. And I'll see you guys next time in another video. Thanks for always watching. Thanks everyone who supports my videos. And I'm really enjoying doing this as well. So I'm trying to come up with new ideas as well for videos. So I will see you guys in another video. Don't know exactly what it's going to be. Might be an update, might be another review, might just be some random thing that I decided to do because I'm kind of start doing a little more different things besides just talking about movies. But like I say, once again, thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.